Hello, good evening. I am your host, Neena Girish. Welcome to Talk to the Expert series. (123) NIOS Possibilities and Accommodations. We have Dr. Renuka Rameshan, President, Association of Sign Language Interpreters, India, who will be our accessibility partner as sign language interpreter. The guest for this session is Mrs. Lakshmi Narasimhan, a parent and a special educator who has been working in the field of inclusive education for the last 20 years. She understands inclusion from both the parents and the school's perspective and works towards inclusion in its truest sense. She firmly believes that inclusion is an ongoing process and needs to be worked on by the community as a whole. She has experience both with Indian and international curricula and has successfully supported scores of students in bridging their learning gaps, confidently moving ahead in life. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Ma'am, please tell us about your journey as an educationist and as a parent.
So, my journey started as a teacher, regular teacher. I was in a school teaching English to high school students when for nearly 7 to 8 years, when my son was born and he was diagnosed with autism. So after that, the journey changed, and I had to actually ask the therapist how it is, what is happening, and all that. And then the therapist, uh, they suggested that I do a course on special education. So then what happened was I went and did that course, and there was a major change in my outlook towards education as such, because I understood that special education is more focused on the individual child rather than on the curriculum. So that was a major shift in my understanding. And as I got experience in this field, I understood that any curriculum can be uh, tailored to the needs of the students, and many of the students they will be able to access the curriculum if we have the if we have the flexibility to tailor it to the needs. And so I believe, and I strongly believe even so in supporting students to access the curriculum, be it CBSE or ICSE or NIOS, even IB and IGCSE. Over a period of the most 20 years and more, I have helped so many children from all these boards to access the regular curriculum and go ahead in life. So this has been my journey, and still I am continuing the same. So this is what I'm doing even now.
Okay, as you mentioned about NIOS, so what was your experience as a parent in NIOS?
Yeah. So, for my son, what had happened was he was in a special school, and he had mm, he was up to the level of grade 5 or 6. And then after that, I did not know how to go ahead with this education. So this I'm talking about nearly 10, 12 years back. I did not have the information. So then I started asking around, looking around. Then I heard of NIOS. So once I went into the system, then I understood that how flexible it is and how it is suited for children with special needs, but it is suited for many others also. So everyone doesn't have to go to the same rigor as in the regular schooling. It helps because there are many children who are having a lot of interest in other areas. It can help them also. Think of children who are in rural areas, far-flung areas. So, or children who have to work. So all these sections, they all can access NIOS. So, the advantage of NIOS is that NIOS gives flexibility in the selection of subjects. So the student can choose uh, one language, and from a big, there is, I think, nearly 20 to 30 subjects are there. From there, he or she has to choose four others. So total of five. Five subjects the student has to choose, and they have also added the vocational uh, curriculum. So instead of the four, the student can choose three subjects, regular subjects, academic subjects, and one vocational to his or her choice.
Hmm.
So one that is there, the choice is there. Second is the flexibility with giving the exams.
Okay.
So the child can give exams. Say by the age of 14, they have to register. So the child can give exams. Uh, let's say this child registers in July, August.
Hmm.
Next April, they can give the first exam.
Hmm.
The child does not have to wait for 2 years.
Okay.
So NIOS has exams in April, May, and October, November. So the child can attempt one or two papers in the first.
Hmm.
So just study those one or two subjects for 6 months. Be thorough. Go and give the paper. Then study the next two. Then give that in October, November.
Hmm.
Similarly, go on and within 2 years, in this staggered way, without much pressure, the child can give the exams. And what worked for my son, because his strength is rote learning.
Okay.
So what worked for him was that he was, so since he had 6 months for one subject, so we used to do it one chapter at a time, understand the chapter, the question answers, memorize, then two chapters, then three chapters, and he was able to remember a whole lot. And then when he went to the examination, we took the accommodations of extra time and scribe. So then at that point of time, those accommodations helped him become, he was able to finish his 12th, 10th and 12th both using these supports that was provided by NIOS.
Okay. So talking about accommodations, can you throw some more light on accommodation of students in NIOS?
Okay, yeah. So NIOS gives a number of accommodations. So this is, as far as I understand, these accommodations are similar to CBSEs also. So the first one is they give extra time. So extra time means uh, for every 1 hour of exam, 20 minutes extra is given. So that means if it's a 3 hour exam, the child gets nearly 1 hour extra. So this 1 hour extra the child can take. So it will be 4 hours. Some children, they have slower speed, slower processing speed, writing speed is slow. So for all these things, they might get anxious, confused. For all these things, so this extra time does help. They are able to uh, be relaxed and they are able to give the exam. That is one. Another is they allow the use of computers also. So for children having difficulty in typing, be it maybe because of some muscular issue, or they have got a very bad handwriting, handwriting is not legible. So for those, and for others also who are, say, more used to typing rather than writing, the board does allow them to use typing, provided it has got to be, the laptop has to got to be clean. They have to reach 1 hour before in the examination center. There they have to give the laptop to be checked. And what happens is, after that they take a printout of the exam, and that is sent for correction. So that is there. And then for visually impaired students, there is, so those questions which have visual components in them, those questions are changed for them, so that they are so that they can be attempted by the visually impaired.
Mm.
So it's not like maps and graphs and all.
Mhm.
There is a change in those questions.
Mm.
So and then the provision of scribe.
Okay.
So provision of scribe is, uh, so for children again who have difficulty in handwriting or have any other physical issues. So for them, the scribe is given, and the scribe has got to be someone who is of a lower grade.
Huh.
So that is one. And then they also give the accessibility options. Like, the examination centers are told that you have to be, if suppose a student is coming in a wheelchair, so they have to be wheelchair accessible.
Mhm.
So a lot of those kind of exemptions are also there. And there is also on-demand examinations.
Mm.
So on that is one excellent options. All big cities have these centers which are on demand. So there, the students don't have to give it along with the others,
Mm.
say in April, May, and October, November. So they can go to these centers whenever the student is ready and tell them that I'm ready for this particular subject. Say English I want to give. So I think they take around 2 weeks time. Then the student can go there and give the exam there.
Mm.
So that is also an excellent. So for those students who have anxiety issues
Mm.
or any other reason that they're not able to give exams at that point of time,
Mm.
for them it is highly useful. So
Mm.
on-demand exam is for all the students. The others that I was mentioning, it is for students who are having special needs.
Mm.
Okay, so then after that we have the provision for amanuensis. Amanuensis, so I think, oh sorry, that I already mentioned. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So then one is for students with hearing impairment, you
Mm.
can get sign language interpreters. So whatever the instructions that are happening in the examination room,
Mm.
so the sign language interpreter is allowed
Mm.
inside. So that is that.
Okay. Like you
So,
were mentioning about the scribe the child can use. You
mhm.
have, I think you also mentioned about the how, which, who should be the scribe. So can you just tell more about the scribe, because parents would be eager to know.
Yeah, yeah. So scribe. So according to the NIOS, the whatever they ask for, they say that a scribe can be a person who is who does not who has not done his schooling in the same subject. So they allow that, but the difficulty being that since most of the subjects are the same, right?
Hmm.
All of us do the same. So it is very difficult to find for someone, say I want to give social science, and then to find someone who has not done social science in class 10. It's difficult. So that way they allow even adults, but it is better to have a child who is at a lower grade. So if it's a class 10th examination happening, then the child is should be in ninth or eighth grade, because that is because younger children, they have to, for them to just sit for 3 hours and write, listen to what the student is saying and write. That is pretty difficult. So they have to, so that child has to be younger. And I'll just tell my experience, what worked and what worked for many of my other students also, as far as scribe is concerned. One is we can have the scribe who is known to a child. although that is not mentioned in that. Because what happens is most of our children, they have got pretty limited set of people to whom they interact with, and then all of a sudden on the day of the exam, a new person comes. They will not be comfortable, as it is examinations are highly stressful. They'll not be comfortable. So it is better that if we are able to find a child that our student is very comfortable with. So at least 3 to 4 times they meet, they interact, and then the scribe can be told the format of the examination, how it works. Because just imagine, so this is a board exam, and the child who is in eighth or ninth has never attempted one. So we have to think from the point of view of the scribe also. So we have to show maybe past year question papers. This is how it works. This is MCQs. Here you are expected to write 50 words, here 100 words.
Mm-hmm.
So like that. So at least 3 to 4 times they meet, they interact, and the child who is acting as scribe knows all this. That will be very comfortable with them. And then the child who is acting as a scribe, the child has to carry their identity card from the school to which they are going, and they also have to carry a letter from the principal saying that they are allowed to be scribe. So these are the documents that should be taken. And NIOS also allows that different children, different scribes can be there for different exams. So that is also very comfortable, because we can't expect the same child to be there for all five,
Oh.
6 exams. It is, I mean, we have to be practical.
Mm.
So we do all these things, and then we reach there before time. Then what happens is, uh, our student is also comfortable, the scribe is comfortable, and then we also practice with both of them, that our student, because what is a scribe? Our
Mm.
student says the answer and the
Mm.
scribe writes it, right?
Mm. Mm.
So if they have already done that practice, then it will be a very seamless experience.
Mm.
And normally NIOS for children with learning challenges allows a separate room for examinations. They don't
Mm.
have to sit with the entire
Yeah.
all the other
No.
students,
Yeah.
because the student speaks, the scribe writes, the scribe will ask, okay, is that all?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
conversation will be happening,
Ah,
so it will not disturb others.
others.
So that is for all, even those who take extra time. For all of them, the examination center is supposed to allot a
Mm.
separate room.
Mm. So
So
I think this will help a lot of parents to, understand if they're using NIOS as a means of education for their students, their kids, so they can take the help of the scribe and the procedure and all you very clearly mentioned. So now what care should parents take while selecting the center through NIOS? Is there some kind of precautions or care that they have to take when they select the center?
yeah, so while registering for the, say, secondary, that is class 10th. So while registering, so there are plenty of centers we can see around. There are many schools which are also centers, regular schools. They have NIOS centers. So that is one way. We go and approach the center, and we ask them. Another way is online. The NIOS portal is very, very user friendly, so we can do it independently online. So it is very straightforward, very easy. All that they ask for when we register is that I think they ask for address proof, obviously ID proof, address proof, and also they ask for, what do they ask? That's all. I think that's all what they
Okay.
ask for. So the child has to be 14 years of age if
Ah,
they have to register for secondary. And
ah,
then they ask, suppose the child has attended any previous school,
mm,
some document from there. If not, they ask, there is a form,
mm,
self-declaration, that the student says that, yes, I can attempt.
mm,
That is all.
mm,
So that is one thing, the documentation, the
mm.
photos and all that. Another thing is, once you start filling up the form, there is an option for choosing centers. So
Ah,
they give you 3 options. So then there are some centers which are specifically uh, the centers for students with learning challenges.
Oh,
So I think they are, I'm not remembering the exact name. They are for special needs children.
special needs.
So if specifically the parents look at it and choose that,
Hmm.
do the little bit of homework and see where it is, what
Hmm.
happens is,
Hmm.
so then that will become your center.
Ah.
And that center will be having provisions. So NIOS normally gives there is personal contact programs are there, and if the student has taken any
Hmm.
science
Hmm.
where lab work is required,
Uh-huh.
that is also given. So all that can happen in the center itself,
Okay.
and most important, so the student will go to the center often, and the center will also help with, making the student understand how to better access the
Uh-huh.
curriculum,
Hmm.
since they have been dealing with the
Hmm.
children with learning challenges.
Correct.
So that, and then the very importantly, the examination
Hmm.
can be had in that center. So suppose if the parents choose a center which is not allocated as that for the, I'm I'm forgetting the term here.
Ah.
So for special needs,
Hmm.
then your center can be anywhere.
Anyway.
So I didn't know of this when I did for my son,
Okay.
and for both 10th and 12th, we were tossed across the city.
Somewhere.
So various, and imagine, like, because every time it was, he did not give all the exams together.
Ah.
So
Ah.
two exams, so we were like all, at that time we were in Delhi, all over Delhi, right across Delhi. And then those places were not, mm,
Near.
they had no
Reachable.
idea about
Ah.
learning challenges and all.
Ah. Ah.
So I used to go earlier once and then the visit, and then at that time I used to tell them, they used to make the provisions. I used to go with the full document from
Okay.
the
Ah.
NIOS. So
Ah.
these are all should be there.
Ah.
So either you have to do all that exercise, or it
Ah.
is much better that before only you choose who know everything that needs to be done, and you can choose the one which is nearest to your house.
Yeah, that's true.
So if parents are careful while choosing that,
Hmm.
that that becomes all the more easier. So
Correct.
the same can be used for all the papers for class 10
Ah.
and also for 12th. The same center can be used.
Ah.
So
So I think parents will be more cautious while selecting the centers for their kids. Now we have discussed about selecting the center through NIOS. Now the I want to ask you is what is the process that parents need to follow to get these exemptions, like we scribe and other things that we mentioned. So
mhm.
is there any criteria that they have to follow?
Okay. So the first thing is, I think when we are filling the form itself, it is mentioned that our child has. So they ask
Hmm.
what is the diagnosis, and then when the examination form is being filled. So you have decided, John, in July, you have decided that next April, for example, the child will give maybe English and say science. Okay, so
Hmm.
then in January the form comes.
Hmm.
So the form is being filled. At that point of time, also you have to mention this, and then you have to have some documents with you. One is the assessment, psychological assessment of your child by a registered uh, professional with a clinical psychologist who is registered with the RCI. Either
Ah.
that,
Ah.
or they can get if the child has a disability certificate, that is excellent.
Hmm.
So either a psychological assessment report or a disability certificate,
Hmm.
or get an assessment report. You can also from any of these government-run
Awesome.
national level institutions like Spastic Society
Ah.
or NIMHANS,
Ah.
National School of the Blind. This
Yeah.
bigger institutions.
Yeah.
So NIOS accepts any of these, not
Ah.
all, any of these.
Ah.
So that document has to be there,
Ah.
and that document has specifically to mention the what
Correct.
recommendations.
Ah.
The child needs extra time, the
Ah.
child needs cry.
Ah.
That has to be mentioned. That is very important. That has to be mentioned in the document.
Document.
Along with that, if you look at the NIOS website, there are certain forms are there. So if scribe is needed,
Hmm.
you have to download that form,
Hmm.
fill it, depending on what accommodation you're asking for. So you have
Hmm.
to look at the website and download that particular form and fill, and give all these documents
Hmm.
along with the examination form.
Hmm.
Okay, so when your hall ticket comes,
Hmm.
there it will be clearly mentioned in the hall ticket
Yeah.
that these are the accommodations you will get.
Hmm.
Apart from that, if there is, say, any, you want something more, say
Hmm.
you think that you will need an adult in the room just to be there, just for support for your child, otherwise it will be very difficult. So that also they have mentioned in one of their clauses that 1 month before, the parent can approach the regional director of that particular region and go with all the documentary evidence and say that this is what I need.
Yeah.
So they will decide on case basis.
Hmm.
Okay, so if we are very clear on our documentation, and
Hmm.
it is not very difficult, just we just go into NIOS, we just have to type uh, provisions for learners with disabilities during NIOS exams.
Okay.
Search for that. Provisions
Hmm.
for learners with disabilities during NIOS exam. That document comes up. All these things that I've mentioned, it's all very clearly mentioned there.
Mentioned in the website.
So then, with the help of that document, we can just go into it because I have seen a lot of mm, uh, discussions happening in many forums that does NIOS accept private practitioners? Does
Hmm.
NIOS accept, say,
Ah.
spastic societies and all
Ah.
that?
Ah.
So that is very clearly mentioned, all the things. So I have gone through the document. I'm just saying it here. The same
Yeah.
way it is very clearly mentioned. So, and since you have that document, and if say you don't get this on time,
Hmm.
your accommodations on time, you
Hmm.
can always take the document, go to the regional director's office. They are very accessible because I myself in Delhi when I went
Ah.
for my son, I have gone there, and it is not difficult. So they are very accessible. Just go there and tell them, see, this has not been done.
Hmm.
Can you please help me with this? So normally they will. So
Hmm.
this you just have to be a bit more like proactive and
Yeah.
know
Hmm.
what is needed.
Actually, you need to do a lot of research before you go into it, as
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. So it is not too much also. There's just that
Yeah.
one website,
Yeah.
and it is a very user friendly website.
I think we have
They've got.
mentioned. Yes,
Mm,
ma'am.
mm,
You were
yeah.
saying something.
No. I just wanted to say that they also have all their study material there. So
Mm-hmm.
even if the study material does not reach you on time,
Ah,
sometimes it takes months because NIOS it's a huge organization.
correct.
So sometimes it takes months after you register. You can easily download it from there.
Mm,
Everything for all subjects it is there in the
mm,
on the website.
mm,
Download it, get it printed, start
mm.
studying.
So,
So
like we have shared the link of NIOS website and even the document that you mentioned. So that is shared in our link. So I think parents will use it. One more thing that I want to ask is who should parents reach out if they have questions regarding NIOS? Like, even though sometimes when we go through the website, there are certain terms or terminology that parents will want to clarify more when it comes to approaching NIOS. So in that case,
no, see, the thing is, to frankly, it is better to understand through the website, through the documents,
okay.
and then be clear, and then go with your documents.
Hmm.
You can approach the regional director.
Hmm.
But having said that, I'm being candid here.
Hmm.
So regional directors, they don't necessarily will have the information
Hmm. Hmm.
because they not only cater to our students. Which we are a pretty small minority.
Correct.
They cater to all students. It's a
Ah,
huge number.
ah.
So then we have our questions which are clear, and we go with the documentation that NIOS requires,
Hmm.
and then we ask them.
Hmm.
Then maybe they might be able to help us.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so as
So,
far as I know, maybe that is out of my experience. I'm talking.
ah,
Maybe as far as I know, there is not one say like a helpline or
correct.
something. Uh, I don't think it is there.
Because it's a vast area where it's
Yeah,
not.
so it is
Ah,
so even if the helpline is there, for them to answer our specific question for students with learning challenges, the
yes.
chances are less.
Like, if suppose a child is in a school who has a learning disability, who needs extra time, so maybe the teachers and special educators in the school can help parents on uh,
Yes, yes,
it.
yes, they can. Provided the child is going to a school which is offering NIOS and the child has taken
Ha,
NIOS.
ha, ha.
So then the center will, so the center, if you have chosen the center which is supporting learning challenges,
Hmm,
they will have all your answers. You don't have to go all the way to the regional director and all. So just if you choose the center and then, so they will have experience. They'll answer all your questions. They'll
hmm,
make your life easy.
hmm.
So
So, ma'am,
best to choose a good center.
yeah, best to choose, go through the website, and if
Mm,
you are with a school, connect with
mm.
your special educators and teachers who can help.
Yes, yes.
And choosing the center, while choosing the center, be very careful, not that is very comfortable as
Mm.
per your convenience as well as a
Yes.
child's convenience, right? And
Yeah.
one thing that other than students, if a teacher wants, like a regular school teacher, can this NIOS be used as a resource for the curriculum? Is a question that came up among the audience.
Okay,
Think-
NIOS can be used as a resource for the curriculum. It can be used as a resource for any curriculum. See, NIOS is at par with any of the other boards.
Hmm.
So the curriculum is the same.
Hmm.
The curriculum remains the same. It does not change.
Hmm.
So NIOS similar. So if you look at 10th CBSE and
Ah,
all, and similar, there will be some topics which are different. So
hmm.
that can be used as a resource,
Hmm.
and it is easily available. You don't have to register yourself as a student or anything. Just open the website and look at the resources, student resources that will be having, and you can use. They have past papers, they have sample papers. I mean, they've got plenty. They've got tutor mark assignments are there. So those questions and all are there. So just plenty of material out there,
Out
which
there.
can be used
Useful.
as resource for teachers with NIOS or other teachers also.
Yeah. So there is plenty that can be explored through NIOS. So coming on to this one, anything, how can we as a society be inclusive?
Okay, so the one is a broad question, how can we be inclusive?
Ah,
And that is all of us know that we accept the acceptance of the diversity.
correct.
Accepting the fact that yes, we are all diverse. None of us are the same. So accepting that fact is so important. And then being tolerant. So if we see a person who is for in any way they are struggling for anything, just being tolerant, being patient. One thing that I can think of is, when we are talking to people with disabilities, uh, so not talking down to them.
Hmm.
The people, like we think that they don't understand much or something, or whatever is there in their mind. Talking, so the person is an adult. So talking at their age level,
Hmm.
talking to them. Another is they can do is what I mean. I'm talking out of experience. I'm not
Yeah.
so. It can be hundreds of things, but what is coming to my mind is another is talking a bit slowly. Clearly enunciating your words slowly and then pausing. Most of us during this fast-paced world, we speak very fast. Yeah, and then we want an immediate reply.
Yeah.
So we pause, we speak, we pause, we let the other person gather their thoughts and then wait for their answer, wait for them to gather more thoughts. So maybe the first sentence comes a few seconds later, the second will be later, but then give them those chances. Small little things that can be done. So, if a person, so this is what I see because working with students, so I see it in school and society everywhere. People don't pause to even acknowledge a,
Hmm.
a person whom they perceive has a
Hmm.
learning disability.
Hmm.
Even saying a hello,
Hmm. Yeah.
give a smile on your face. Simple saying hello. So small little things, acknowledge the diversity. We have to embrace diversity. How boring life will be if everyone is the same.
Hmm.
So we have to embrace all
Correct.
kinds of
Hmm.
diversity and accept and acknowledge and tolerate.
Hmm.
So this is what, and one thing that can be done, the small thing, that if we train our children, so because uh, parents and special educators they struggle to get scribes.
Hmm.
Many parents of the so-called uh, neurotypical, many parents they think that, doing this will take time away from their child's whatever. So, uh, uh, but then it doesn't take too much time away. And there's so much of struggle parents go through. Can I get a scribe for my child? Can I get a scribe for my child? So, if we are able to make a small group where there are volunteers. Children themselves volunteer. Okay, when we are not having our own exams, we will become scribes. We can start a small group where so we have this bank of children who are ready to be scribes, and then from that, so whenever there is a need in that area, they are nearby, they can go. So then this will be such a huge help. So this is a small initiative that we can start.
Correct.
Uh,
I think, ma'am, you have almost cleared lots of doubts that parents who were looking for where to go and how to accommodate their kids, especially when it comes to their education. Yeah, and the scribes also, you mentioned about the scribes, how to choose, how the scribes are selected, who the scribe can be, and also about accommodating the child, the process of accommodation, and the centers, how to choose the centers. It was very, very informative. And I would also like to request our audience or listeners to listen to the Radio Udan series that Lakshmi ma'am has done in her mother language, Tamil, where she has been speaking about how to choose a school for your child. So that will also help most of you. And yes, coming on to this series, thank you, ma'am, once again for coming to our platform and giving your valuable time and valuable insights. That will be helping a lot. And also, before we end, I would like to say, like ma'am mentioned, we need to understand our children. We have to be buddies to them. So when we take the pledge to be inclusive, we have to be buddy for our kids as well, right? So let's pledge to be inclusive and buddy for our kids. Thank you, Lakshmi ma'am, for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
And I thank Renuka ma'am
Yeah.
for helping us throughout our session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ren.